So we got free agency starting tomorrow, and Miami's making noise now because they accepted Dragic's $19 million team option, which now allows them to organize a sign and trade for what seems to be the obvious name right now, which is Kyle Lowry. As for why Lowry is the obvious name, I mean, we've got Zach Lowe and Woj, two very connected guys who have had tweets right after this happened suggesting basically that. Now, as far as why Miami is going this route as opposed to just declining Dragic's option and signing whoever they want with cap space, to be honest, I don't know. I guess it doesn't really matter because I'm just going to choose to believe they've already got a deal lined up, and when they can do it, they're going to do it. Receiving a player in a sign-and-trade would hard cap Miami at $143 million, which means they could not go above that number for anything. And they do still have Duncan Robinson as well as Kendrick Nunn's free agencies, so they might end up losing one of those guys. If I had to pick, it would be Nunn, who is gone. To me, the most interesting part of this is that the Heat are basically putting a beacon in the sky that says we are confident that we're going to get the trade for Dragic once we're allowed to do it. So maybe that means Lowry in Miami is already a done deal. And from the Raptors' standpoint, it's like, well, we're already going to lose him, so we might as well get something in return. Whether they would want Dragic, I don't know. Maybe a third team gets involved. Where the Raptors are getting assets from the Heat as well as the other team, and then Dragic is going to that other team because they think they can then either just have him for a season because they need a guard, or they can then flip him somewhere else, or whatever. There's a lot of possibilities here. If I can risk going into, I don't know, trade conspiracy mode or something, some people who are a little more connected to Miami suggest that there could be something else up the Heat's sleeve. One thing I've seen is they're trying to reunite DeRozan and Lowry in Miami. I'm going to guess that the only way that's possible is if it's another sign and trade with, I don't know, Duncan Robinson or Kendrick Nunn going to San Antonio. I guess the most interesting potential name is Tyler Hero, and maybe Precious Achiuwa as well. I mean, how crazy does Miami want to go with going all in on this team? You'd like to have at least one young guy who you can feel excited about besides Bam. I don't know. The way that people are being kind of cryptic and saying that the Heat have more options and stuff, maybe they're going to pull off some cap gymnastics that I'm just not capable of anticipating right now. Now, if they get Lowry and one other good player, does that make them a title contender in the East? I mean, probably not, but if it's between floating around and just losing in round two or really going for it and hoping some things bounce your way, I mean, why not do it? Assuming that you're not sacrificing your entire future. Unless you're getting someone who's not that old. I mean, there was that crazy rumor that there would be a Brandon Ingram to Miami trade. I doubt that's what's happening. Now this will probably have a domino effect on the rest of free agency, assuming that Miami can pull off whatever they're trying to do here. Because you've got two teams, Dallas and New Orleans, who have made it pretty obvious that they want Lowry, and they've made moves to create cap space for that. Richardson coming to my Celtics for one. Not super hyped about it, but it's a thing. Anyway, if Lowry's going to Miami, then those two teams are going to have to start looking at Dinwiddie, Schroeder, Lonzo. Would the Pelicans just match anything for Lonzo at that point? He's already been kind of connected to the Bulls. It seems like it's a safe bet that Mike Conley's going to the Jazz or re-signing. And speaking of Dallas, another name in this whole thing is Tim Hardaway. And I don't know if they can sign a big contract and keep Hardaway because their cap space assumes that they renounce Hardaway's rights. So yeah, that's the gist. It seems like Miami has already sort of established themselves as the centerpiece of free agency, assuming that the Dragic team option suggests sign and trade Lowry and then other teams react from there. Is there anything else to talk about with free agency? Because I don't think I'm going to do like a whole big video. I'm just going to react to the moves as they happen starting tomorrow. It seems like John Collins is going to be back with Atlanta. We'll see if somebody offers him a max. They're probably going to match. I think it's better to overpay for him than to lose him. Fournier is probably gone for my Celtics. And one random name that I think is interesting is Devontae Graham, because the Hornets selected Bouknight, who was a guard. Rozier seems like the better player I mean, Devontae was better 2 years ago, but now Rozier's better, so I don't know there. Could we see Devontae go somewhere else and then either light it up or continue to miss every two-pointer he attempts? I don't know.